And we are live. Cool. So let me update things. I will say this is a slightly different stream for at least the beginning. I'm a big Hornets fan, so I'll be having the draft on as well. And we have the second pick, so I'm really hoping that we end up making the right decision. Taking Scoot, but I'm feeling like we're taking Brandon Miller, so we'll see how that goes. Let me update the code and post in the Reddit. Not Reddit, in the Discord. Let's see. Okay, so today I want to do a little bit of house cleaning. I know someone in the Discord, K. Schmidt, has been so kind to spend some of his time working on some things, and I just haven't gotten around to reviewing them, so I want to go through and cherry pick his code into my code. I want to update while we're here. Who is it? Ice. Who is it? It was Ice something. That was Ice ... But Ice Wiz and me had a big conversation this morning, and he wants some changes for the starter view, which I agree is something that we can build on. There's some longer term changes that we'll get around to eventually, but to start out, I want to update the table. That's a really quick change, and it would improve the quality. So let's try to remember where I set that. Okay, yeah, I set it right here. Okay, so I have all the starter ranks. See, I have this dynasty check, but honestly, let's see. See, I want the market to be set too, but that did not do what I wanted it to. Okay, so if it's Dynasty and I can honestly just move this in here. I think that should handle it. And let me make sure I start our local dev server. This will have our changes on it once it loads. And I will say, if you're watching this now or watching a recap, make sure if you want some high quality Dynasty content, check out our partners. We now have a new one in Dynasty Trades in 5, so definitely check them out. Their community on YouTube is one of the best Dynasty communities out there, and I'm very excited to start doing work with them. And hopefully we have some cool things that we can work on together in the future. But they do a live stream every Tuesday, and they just did a super stream last weekend that was 5 hours long. So definitely check them out. And also Dynasty Theory. They're one of my favorite podcasts, and they also do stream live. But their Discord especially is really, really active. There's always things going on there. So I would definitely check out those two if you really want some high quality Dynasty content. And obviously use my site. We added in the new banners. So these are actually randomized each time. I don't want to pick favorites. But and then they also show up here, and we can search them. So if we do like Dynasty, both the podcasts show up, trades, theory. And these will also take you to links, whether it's Dynasty Theories, Linktree with all their links, or Dynasty Trades in 5 YouTube. just to make it easier, you know, the goal of this is to be a all-in-one Dynasty site, like a hub for all your research, everything you need. And we want to make sure we have the best content creators on there as well. Cool. So now that we're diving into that, let's look at the changes we made to the starter view. This is, again, just baby steps. Let's remove the draft capital. So we removed it from the high level table. Let's see, this is kind of interesting. Let's see. Oh, so it does update the ADP. Sick. Okay, that's what I want. Yeah, I know, I talked in the Discord. Eventually we'll get around to updating it to be more of a curve. I think some people would like to see that. But I have some other things that I want to knock out first that are more pressing in terms of getting them done in the off season, so that, you know, I have enough time to ramp up on them during the season. Let's see. So we got that. Let me make sure that covers everything you mentioned. A redraft, yeah, not about that. Okay, so let's go into here. We have the expanded tab. This is the draft capital tab. What makes it disappear? I don't know if I have something on here to make it disappear. Oh, if league type is 2. Okay. Two. Let me think. Trying to remember what league type 2 is. It's gonna be in my league DTO object. It's not in there. Yeah, so if it's Dynasty, we show it, but then I also need to check if what the power ranking table view is. Because one thing I would like to do is be able to have not only the big view be, not only like the big expanded view, have, you know, like the trade values and things, but make it more custom. So that, okay, like based on what table view I have, different things show up down here as well. Again, I'm trying to build this out, but doing it in a slower manner, just because this is by far my most trafficked part of the site, and I don't want to make hasty changes to this, because this is the stuff that, frankly, people come for. So if it's 0, that's part of the reason the starter view is kind of a work in progress. That's something that Shane from Dynasty Trades in 5 recommended, but I think it has a little bit more legs, because we have this one, and I've been talking with South Harmon guys about building out a best ball one as well. So trying to think of different ways of showing those power rankings in a more meaningful way. Dude, I would just want this NBA draft to take so long. They haven't even started anything yet. Okay, and there we go. I mean, it's not the prettiest, but we have ADP. We don't have any draft capital. I think maybe instead of starter, should I name it something else? I don't know. I don't know if I like the name. Where is that at? Oh, sick. I can just rename it whatever I want. I guess like redraft. Right? We'll have a redraft view. This is more of a dynasty. I don't want to call it dynasty because I want to add redraft trade values eventually, so then they would still be relevant there. And so now if we go here, we have our new redraft, rebranded. Again, we'll find something to do with this space in the future. But right now we have all these rankings. We have generic ranks here. Let me see, maybe... Let's see, I'll do like redraft. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, this was taking a second to build. You know, I know a lot of people right now call it like the Dynasty dead zone, or like it's basically the time between draft hype and like real training camp and like preseason. But I will say usually I dread it, but this year has been more fun because like having a site, having things like this, like, you know, I have a ton of things to do and I can kind of catch up on them during this time and kind of experiment with things. So I like that. Okay, we're gonna go, I think, with that. I had conversations about ADP being kind of confusing. But the issue is, yeah, I don't think mobile doesn't have that option, I suppose, right? So that's kind of an issue. I can shrink this, maybe. What is this? I hate this spacing. Spacing sucks. Okay. Alright, they're still showing ads, man. I just need the NBA draft to actually happen. Okay, let's see. I need to look at mobile styling. Oh, it looks like Wembanyama has been selected. I mean, that's expected. Let's see. Draft capital rank. I was looking for like the search bar stuff. I don't know, man. If I make it, I think I'll leave it for now, just because mobile styling is annoying. I don't know the best way to have this search bar, have this gear, and then have to style all of these. Well, I guess this I don't really need for mobile, but I would want this. Okay, anyway, let's start cherry picking some of this these old PRs that K. Schmidt raised, because I want to make sure his code is in there. But it's also very behind the commit history, so it looks like he made some changes to the trade value line chart component. Okay, so where's that component at? So this is a small issue that, but unlike the value comparison tool. Oh, that's weird. Why Why is there no data point there? Okay, well, that is very odd. I might have to figure out what's going on there. I guess my scraper didn't work yesterday or something. I'll have to check. I thought it did work, but let's see. That's nothing too bad. I can always kind of mock run this script and insert data. But I'll probably do that off stream since I have to deal with database credentials. But let's go back to our value comparison. Basically, we have these 4 different value comparison markets, and they all have different start dates. And you can see that here, because this is when I first implemented them. So building in a way that we can easily filter this so all time doesn't, you know, doesn't have mostly empty space for most of them. Make it a little more useful. So let's see, I think I have this. I'm gonna copy and paste this code in. Where's this line value? Player comparisons, line chart component. So yeah, one thing here I would say is enums. This enum is actually mapped already to integers, right? So like 0, 1, 2, 3. So we don't really need to also map it like this. But this implementation certainly works. But we could do something along the lines of, let's see, if we go up here and do all time start dates. And we paste this in. We can remove these. Okay, and there we go. So now the enums will automatically map to this. So then we'll just say all time start dates map to enums. And then where you reference that value, say here, right? We can just put this with, we're gonna need to have the fantasy market somehow. Let's see where did you pull that from? Yeah, this selected markets, and we pass that in here. Okay, and now that should get our line chart working. While that's reloading, I'm gonna jump up. Let's see. I want to see. The coverage for the NFL or NBA draft is so bad. But I'm gonna see. So the Hornets have not picked yet. Okay. Okay, let's see. So where created at date is equal to, what's the date I need? It would be 23/06/21. That is weird. It certainly doesn't look like it's there. Okay, so I'll go in and just kind of add in data points for those days. Okay, so let's do all time. All time for KeepTradeCut looks good. Boom, FantasyCalc looks good. DynastyProcess looks good, and Dynasty Superflex. Perfect. Yeah, thank you, K Schmidt, for doing that. I'll make sure to close that PR out. And then improved mock draft tool. So this is one that has been out there for a long time. So I'm going to try to cherry pick the changes in and see what you came up with, and then kind of go from there. Honestly, the draft center as a whole, I kind of want to improve. I like bulletproof.com. I'm not partnered with them or anything, but I love how they have this with like all the different players. So I think that might be something I do eventually, because a lot of this data could be condensed down, especially in like the mock draft tool, which now I removed for leagues that already happened because it would cause issues. But yeah, let's spin up. Let's log into a league that we can actually generate a mock draft. Give me 1 second here. Models, controllers, oh, we don't need that. Scripts, KeepTradeCut. So yeah, let's see what we got going on. So you set team needs, then we go in here. And so the big thing is that line. So I'm just going to copy all your changes in, and then we're going to take a look at them. Right, so draft component, HTML. Draft, hey, no, just draft component. And what's it at 32? Oh no, it's at 39. Gotcha. So you put this under here, and then you added in this styling on top of here. And then we added in two functions here to the draft component. Ooh, let's see. Oh man. Well, the Hornets did select Brandon Miller, so that's not great. Okay. Well, that's something, I guess. This is in the draft service. Let's take a look. Yeah, well, I'm gonna give this a try. I don't know how much like an arbitrary randomness filter would add to a mock draft tool. A lot of what the mock draft is to kind of just be like, hey, like based on these values, just generate me kind of a rough idea of what the mock draft will be. But we can always experiment and see what's going on. So this says it's at 180. Confused about what's the change here. Where's needs boost? Needs boost. I mean, it's got to be this one, right? So we just add that to the needs boost. And then at 200-ish, I add mock draft players, the random weight choice, and then this is down here. Oh, what? 209. That was at 209. Okay, so just paste it in like right here. Okay, so let's see how this looks once it builds. Should be interesting to see. Let me get in here. Let's see, where's it created at? Oh, I forgot. Python is very picky. Okay, so we'll run this and then let's check this out. Okay, maybe it didn't reload. Is it on team? Oh, okay, it's on team need. So if I emphasize draft for need, it's funny that like if you put everything on max, like no matter what, Bijan is still there. So that's interesting. Let's just click it and see how it looks. Gibbs at 2. Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, I guess that's supposed to be crazy because let's see. This thing really loves JSN. Jason Gibbs, Stroud. It's crazy that Stroud's at the 106 now. That's wild to me. That's just crazy for me to think. Okay, so 120, 122. I got some documentation on my GitHub. Hey Dynasty Barry, how are you doing? We're currently just messing around with some random requests. Not getting into all the warp stuff really yet. That's on my laptop. But I'm excited to get that rolling out there. I do think, I definitely do think my replacement values are so wrong because they're all like at 4 or 5 points. And I think that's what was really messing up a lot of the things I was seeing. Let's see, I think. I feel like this just makes it more random in general. Okay, I'm going to thought. You missed it, Tristan. I'm not feeling good about Brandon Miller, but you know, I'm sure he'll be good, but I just hope he doesn't like murder anyone. Yeah, imagine. I mean, having all my points be like 5 points, it has to be the cause. So I'm hoping I can figure out why the replacement values are so low. I know one issue I've been dealing with is like I have my own internal players I track, and then like with Warp and other tools, or like for example Draft, like general drafts. There's a bunch of players that aren't on KeepTradeCut, don't have like a player value assigned to it that my system doesn't know about. So I need to come up with a better way of kind of storing all players and having IDs across all platforms. But that also gets tricky too with like MFL and Sleeper have really good APIs to get all the player IDs, but like ESPN and Fleaflicker, like ESPN doesn't have any rookie IDs, and Fleaflicker you can't. There's no API to actually get players. You can only get players that are rostered on the league. So like a lot of the bottom of the barrel players, like waiver wire players, I don't have. So I need to figure out better ways to do that. But that's kind of just, general cross-platform support, which is never fun. But yeah, how's y'all's not going? I'm trying to have to fix one data issue I noticed real quick. Development, power tools. Yeah, that's what I figured, Dynasty Berry. I was like, if I get... And like both MFL and Sleeper have decent API support with... I mean, the issue, MFL is like annoying. Like I can show you... Let me pull up something real quick. That's... Actually, I have it in my Postman collection. But this is something... I don't know if I'll get to it. But let's see, where's that? Yeah, but basically, like MFL, I don't know if you've worked with MFL APIs, but like, let's see, let me select Dynasty Daddy. But like, the way they have their league formats are crazy. Right, like so basically there's this one API called all rules that gets all the, like it has like a description of the rules, so you're like, okay, passing touchdowns. And then there's an abbreviation here. And then there's the actual API, which I don't have. So let me see if I can duplicate it. Right. Let's see. But like then we go here, and then if we do rules, right? Export rules JSON. Which one is wrong? I think I have my password in here, so let me just check real quick. MFL League ID. Yeah, but this is something I'm gonna have to do to support. See, like when I say like what are the league rules? Like the rules in MFL are so random. Like it's not just like passing touchdowns. It's like, okay, here's a rule and here's this and here's the range. Like none of this makes any sense, and I have to use this somehow to map it. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So that's why like I definitely want to get MFL because that's a big advantage of having MFL support. Because a lot of people that play on MFL want to have Warp, but it's certainly not the easiest thing to decipher. So that's another thing on my plate before I get to a solid Warp kind of tool thing coming out. Let's see. Yep, it's easier to work with. I'm sure ESPN is huge right here. Yeah, I mean ESPN is wild to me. Like it's crazy because like Fleaflicker is somewhat big in our like the Dynasty community, but like ESPN, I've even advertised for it, and it already has more users on my site than Fleaflicker. So like it's definitely sleeper by a lot. Then MFL, then ESPN, Fleaflicker. But let's see. Yeah, I wish. You just import them into Google Sheets. Let's see. Can you do a mock draft for a 12-team half PPR league? I can. It's right here. This is our league right here. It doesn't, since our league doesn't have, since Drew hasn't set the order yet, it has you with the first pick, Tristan. So I'm sorry about that. Hello, Mitchell. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, MFL is definitely more hardcore. Dude, yeah. I'm surprised Fleaflicker is kind of hanging in there too. I like it as a platform, to be honest. Like, I think it has a pretty nice like UI, but I think their app is really bad. Like, it has one of the easier to use like desktop like UIs if I recall. I have one league in it. It's like a free league, so I barely check it. I always like the player search. Like, I always thought this was a nice view for player searching. Like, having the roster and having, you know, kind of the breakdown of the past couple weeks. So then I don't have to click a player and see, oh, like, recently are they scoring? Like, whereas, like, Sleeper is kind of more bubbly and harder to process. Let's see, ESPN, yeah. ESPN is definitely mostly redraft. And that's one thing I'm trying to do is, like on Google Trends and such, like, you can definitely see when fantasy football spikes, you know. And that's all like the let's see, well, fantasy football. Let's see, this is in the past day. But like in the past year, there's a huge spike always like in August, right? Beginning of August, that's when everyone does their redraft leagues. So I want to make sure I have a little bit of a redraft push right before then. That's why I added ESPN. I want to add like Yahoo and such too, but those integrations are a lot harder. Let's see, we were drafting our option on ESPN in 2007 and moved it to Fleaflicker for a year or two until Sleeper came out and transitioned it instantly. Buddies, and I wanted well, at least you got to keep the trophy, Dynasty Barry. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think a fantasy league, like especially like a dynasty league that you can keep going for a long time, that's one of the benefits I love about dynasties. Like, you don't have to scramble to start the league next year. You already have a league lined up. Because before I played dynasty, it would always be like, I'd be like, oh no, like who wants to do a fantasy football league and like a week of, or I'd always be like a couple weeks late. I would start like week 3, like a fantasy football league. So it's nice not having to do that anymore and just being able to know it will kick off when it needs to. Tristan, how you feeling about Brandon Miller? My troubleshooting. Let's see, so player values. Terrible pick. It's MJ's last blessing to us Hornets fans. That's what it is. Scoot's definitely the future, man. I wanted Scoot. Like, when you're a small market team, like, there's no need to pick like best fit, you know? Like, the Denver Nuggets didn't end up with Jokic by picking best fit. You just pick the best player. You pick the highest ceiling. Let's see, 21. I have people who think they're going to have a player for 10 years on their roster, and Dynasty don't play in enough leagues and don't get it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think only leagues that, like, it's literally, like, only leagues that, like, I could see with friends. I would be like, okay, like, if I know I have friends and they're going to be around for a long time, like, then I am okay with investing longer than, like, 3 years. But, yeah, I mean, you have to put a lot of work in to have a really good league, especially with a bunch of randos. But I will say, money leagues definitely do that. You know, if you have a lot of money in a league, people tend to care because they have to pay a lot to enter. I will say I did I know a lot of people want the what's it called, the FFFPC, but I've been talking with them through Gmail. I know when I did Scott's Patreon stream, that was mentioned a few times. So I wanted to make sure I got on top of that so I can support as many people as I can. I know the hardcore people definitely are the people that use my site right now. And I mean, it's crazy because like traffic's gone up a ton right now. So I'm excited to see where I'm going to be at, you know, once all the redraft players and more casual people come back. Let's see. 22, 23. And then we'll do what? Created at 22. No, this would be 23. Okay, let's double check and see if I fixed our issue. Boom, now we have data. Yeah, it gets a little wonky at the end. Let's see, yeah, people who think they're, yeah, okay. The market shifts too much every year. Word of mouth is huge, man. You're doing great work here. People love it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely grown a ton, you know. I think the momentum is also getting more exciting too. You know, like recently we got something in the pipeline. I'll be partnering with not only Dynasty Theory but also Dynasty Trades in 5. I already updated my site for that, but we have that announcement going live later this weekend. But I'm excited about that. You know, I mean, they have a big YouTube presence, and then Dynasty Theories has a big Discord and you know, podcast presence. So I think my goal for my site is to make it kind of just a hub. Like if you don't know anything about Dynasty, or if you do, it just has everything you want. And it also goes with partnering with platforms that are well respected, and you know, and podcasts and creators as well. So that's something I want to do is you know, help them out and also have them help me out. So yeah, I'm excited to have the Dynasty Trades in 5 crew on board. Let's jump back into some coding now that data issue is resolved. I think for now I'm going to remove this draft stuff just because I feel like it just adds way too much randomness into it right now, and I need to kind of have a little bit of a better process around that, in my opinion. But let's see. It's also just kind of an arbitrary number. But I do think maybe tying with, you know, what we've been talking about, Dynasty Berry, tying some warp into things. I want to, something I've been brainstorming is, you know, how can I bring more advanced statistics into the site, you know. Like also talking about like the spike percentage and things like that. So I want to also start bringing more just general data in there, because right now it started off all about trade values. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dynasty Trades in 5. They were one of my they were one of the first shows I started watching. I didn't really watch a ton of like Dynasty content, just because a lot of it to me was always just like buy or sell this player, and that just didn't always resonate with me, because I'm just like, okay, like that's cool, but like I only play in a couple leagues. Like if the person that has this player won't sell it to me or buy from me, like, you know, that's kind of irrelevant. So kind of understanding the process and stuff, I like how they go through that, and they also do it in kind of like a very bite-sized way. Like you jump in on an idea for like 2 minutes and then you jump to the next trade, which I like. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely I mean, I listen to, you know, Dynasty Theory. I listen to Dynasty Trades in 5 every week. I mean, I always have them on when I'm working, Even the 5-hour stream, I got through that eventually. I caught like the first hour live, and then after that, you know, it's Saturday, so I kind of got sucked down different things. But it's certainly one of the better shows out there for sure. So let's see. I think that covers most of the PR stuff. I want to create a new service, I believe, to save usernames. Because we have this local storage. I appreciate you hopping on the stream. Everyone who's joined in chatting Dynasty Berry. So it's always easier to like stream when people are talking, you know. makes it more interesting. So let's do local storage service. Yes, actually, this probably should be a utility service. I want to kind of abstract this out because I'm starting to use local storage a lot more. And for like non-coding things, you know, it basically just stores it in the browser so that you don't have to like reload it. So this makes it easy for like, for example, the portfolio was the first time I really used it, because like having to connect your accounts every time is very tedious, especially if you have a lot of leagues with like MFL and other platforms. It takes a long time. But like I can come in here, load my portfolio, and then I'll reload, and it saves it in my browser. So I kind of want to figure out ways to utilize that more to, first off, take the demand off the APIs, particularly my MFL one, because I am always talking with them and trying to make sure I don't, you know, get restricted. But that's always something I'm looking for. Hey, don't feel bad about distracting me. You know, I've been working. I prepare these shows to be more like, oh, I want to make a tweak here, I want to make a tweak here. Someone in the Discord recommended this. To me, I'm not really expecting to come out of these having a ton done, but also I kind of want to peel back the lack of a better word, like the stigma of like coding and stuff. You know, it's fun, but it's also it doesn't get down in the weeds where it's like if I did like a warp stream, like the stuff I was doing earlier today, I was like, it was definitely not anywhere near as interesting as what I'm doing now in terms of visuals. But let's see. Let's do a local storage service. I think basically all that's the same. I was about to say, Dynasty Bear, if you're related to Matthew Berry, you gotta get me that ESPN. I need ESPN to buy my site for me. That would be funny though. Okay, so we have local storage, and what we'll need to do is we'll need to have remove item, set item, and get item, I believe. So let's set these up. Remove item. So I mean, this is basically nothing crazy. I just kind of want to do it to manage all the local storage access, so I don't have like local storage all over the place. All right, so we have this. So remove that. Get item, remove item, and set item. set item, and then we'll get item. We have two arguments here. One is the key and one is the value. Okay, so we need the item. So that'll be key string. We'll just call this value. Actually, I'll do item. So then item will be the key, and then value will be what we set it as. Okay, so the big thing for having a separate service is I can now take all these strings, because having a, I mean, this project is, I believe almost 200,000 lines of code. So like having a bunch of random strings everywhere that point to different things is not ideal. Trying to see where it shows like how much code. Maybe it's 400,000. I don't know. Community. Forks network. I don't know, but it's definitely a lot of code. Commits. Let's do a little break real quick. What is the, don't need voter ID. What is the, did the Blazers trade? No, they took Scoot. Then we got Amid Thomas, the Thompson twins. Anthony Black, okay, that was true. All the hype about Anthony Black going high. And then it looks like Metropolitan France is popping off right now. 2 top 10 draft picks. Okay, so let's go here and do portfolio. I'm gonna prefix them. Well, actually, it's gonna come off the. We'll just call it like this. Portfolio. I think I have a few local storage items because I have portfolio, MFL user ID, right? MFL user ID, and then I also have. Okay, so that's all I have right now, but then I want to have usernames. Okay, so we'll have. We'll use this first and try to refactor this. Private local storage. This is a portfolio item. This needs a return. I guess any. Okay. And then this is the MFL user ID, which is similar logic. That up. And then we'll do this here. Portfolio item. This is where it will clear the cache if we want it to. keep accidentally doing Control C. Okay. So I think that should handle all that. And then we'll want to do this here. Portfolio. Need to import it. Local storage. Honestly, it might just be like LS, right? Make it super small. Portfolio item. This is portfolio, what, ls.portfolio MFO user item. Here we go. Don't know if this is actually used in here, so maybe I can clean that up. Looks like it's not, so let's just take away that. Okay, so we can test if that is working as we want it to. Coming up on the 1 hour mark. Don't know if I'll be getting to okay, so let's see if this works. This doesn't hate me. Boom. And if I refresh, okay, that didn't seem to work. That's not ideal. Maybe the service isn't the best idea. Let's see, I'm gonna keep the service, but just keep it for the enums. Right, because enums are kind of the real part. Alright, so we do ls and then portfolio item, ls, portfolio, and user ID. Of different IDs I gotta remember. Pretty good turnout for tonight, you know, getting better. Now, if you do happen to be watching it later, I would appreciate subscribing. Trying to build something out of nothing, you know. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. You know, I know development isn't always the most exciting content, but I want to do it if I can. Figure give something back until I kind of had more of my footing around kind of the content I want to make. Okay, now that this is refreshed, let's see, it looks like it's here. We can pull this. Cool, but like if I clear it, refresh, that's gone. And then we'll load this in. Boom. Cool. And load it. Boom, it's there. I need Clyde Edwards-Helaire to do well. Okay, so let me see if the local let's see, LS local storage service. Portfolio item. There we go, we got this, portfolio. This is portfolio user. Just to keep things consistent across everything. Okay, we'll let that rebuild and just verify everything's working. Get that ESPN, oh, I might have not been scrolled down, I'm sorry, Dynasty Berry. Appreciate you dropping by. About how much money they kick out when they put, yeah. I mean, I tell you, that's ESPN can pay, man. I mean, it's even like, I don't know, sometimes you just hear like random sites get acquired for like random reasons. So that's kind of a pipe dream, but you know, if I keep it small and can sell for a good amount, you know, I can make out pretty well. Who knows? I mean, first I gotta start making money. So we'll connect my account, get portfolio, reload portfolio, it's still there, sick. So everything's looking good. How do you want to handle this? So when we log in here, right, we get, I'm not going to have the selected league. I think ideally I could save the user object as a whole object, right? So like user. So we'll just call it user login, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Then when I log in, wrapped trade finder. What was I trying to do? Home. I lose my mind all the time. Okay. So basically, when we sign in, log in with ESPN, we load a league. I don't care about loading a league. I want to see log in with a user. This could definitely use refactoring. I don't need every single one of these, but this is one of the first things I worked on, so it's a little rusty. ESPN Fleaflicker. Just do, oh, here it is, user data. Selected league, league ID. Load Twitter timeline, fetch sleeper info. Where's like the user data? I need more user data. Do I only deal with it here? I'm surprised that's the only place I really deal with it. Let me see what's going on. Home component. I mean, I can certainly save the usernames. The hard part is knowing, I guess, Fleaflicker service, NFL service. Here, I have all these. I get the user data, but I guess when I load in here, right? Let me just console log and see what's going on. We got 6 likes. Yeah, no, usually the MFL tag gives me a retweet, but for some reason it didn't today. I wonder if their bot or something was down, but appreciate all the likes. As mentioned, we got Dynasty trades in 5. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, we're reloading. Give me a console log. So it's undefined here, which is kind of what we expect. I want to see what happens when I sign in. Okay, well that didn't really do anything. What does this sign in button do? I need to refresh my brain on this stuff. I'm sure it just calls like the league switch service, right? Fetch sleeper info. Oh, okay, so it calls this fetch sleeper info call 1. Load new user. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. And we have the user data here. Okay, and let's just put it here, right? Console log this dot league user. I think the league user pulls in the correct data that we need, but I guess the one concern I would have with this is I think you can't re-sign in if your league ID is already the same. So maybe if someone added a new league, there could be issues. But I could always, like, worst case, just save all the actual usernames. So, you know, that wouldn't be terrible. You just have to sign in again. Let's see. Okay, we got this here. We'll log this in. Let's see here. Null. Well, that's weird. Interesting. So it doesn't seem to get set. What happens if I like log into? Okay, so it does pull that user data. I mean, honestly, all I have is the username. Phew. have to figure something out here. Yeah, this is a 4-team to playoffs. That's a tough one. Yeah, it's my team. It's a team I don't check on a ton. I mean, it makes sense. I have all the good players, and it's 1 QB. Right. ADP 1. Wow, Christian McCaffrey's just straight up 1. I guess that makes sense. I mean, who else would be RB1 heading into the year? Dang, there's a big jump between those two. Bijan is 304. Again, I mean, 1 QB is going to be very valuable. Okay. Let's see if I log in here. These logins are a little wonky. I think it actually removed the disabling of that, which makes it better. So guess what? We log in, we get this. Just gotta figure out where to save it at. You definitely don't need this. You don't need this .league user. Oh yeah, that's a future problem. Load user. I wanted to be able to use the user in the query params, but that doesn't seem to want to work. So we load user this here, we select this. We do local storage dot set item. And I'll just do, what is it? User login. I'll replace it once I know I want to do it that way, but I just kind of want to see how it would look. This .league service .selected league .user, is that in here? Or is that separate? League user. So league platform, leagues. Okay, so I think that should be good. Oh, I need to do, probably need to, how do I do the other one? I have to JSON stringify it. Okay, and then on loading, right, so we'll do get item. Okay, and then we'll do, so get item. So if item exists, then we'll do this JSON parse this object, and then we say Paid service user data, the user, like that. So we'll see. I might not have to clear it out, but what does open widget do? My stream rate is higher than the recommended amount. I guess my max is 2 hours. Appreciate everyone for joining. Let's see. I'm going to continue. So here we go. And then if I refresh, definitely did not save it. And let me user login. Oh, it's not user login, right? No, I did set the item as user login. So long. Storage, get item. See how the draft is going. Jarris Walker from Houston. Trevor Hendricks, not Hinkins. Casey Wallace, Jet Howard. Well, I hope Brandon Miller is a real deal, because I'm too. It's been too long of me getting hurt. Okay, and we are logged in. Let me reload. Interesting. So it doesn't seem to be pulling anything back. Let me do a few things to debug this. I mean, I always know I can just save the usernames, but I prefer to be able to like save the login. I think that's, at least I think that's what the person that requested this is saying. Let me see. Maybe I need to do this on the setup form. That's probably where I need to do that. All right. I think that's probably what I need. Currently on pace for an hour and 20 minutes. Okay, so this is null, which is probably what we expect, right? Now if I go in here and load this in, and I don't even really need to log in, but reload, it is still null. That's interesting. If I log in, is it still null? I don't think load users is getting called until here for some reason. I was hoping this would be a quickie, but it's looking like my initial approach might not be working. Is this like just not getting called? No, this only gets called on here. If user is defined as a query param, which I need to fix anyway. So I mean, load users obviously isn't the way to go. Okay, so if load users isn't the way to go, how does, when I log in, it's these ones, it's these ones that I need to put in. Honestly, just need to put like a switch statement on these. These are all different league platform things. So maybe I'll do that if I get this working. Let's see. We are here. We are null. Doesn't seem, certainly doesn't seem to be fixing it. I set the object and then I fetch it. I don't call empty, but okay, so I think I might try something else then. At least just save the usernames for now. Okay, so if I want to do that, we have a few usernames, right? So I'll do sleeper username. I'll just test with sleeper for now. Yeah, I think this one we can kind of easy. We just do this username input like that, and then we'll do get item. That's MFL. But don't want it here, basically. It's kind of a mess, but if it works. If it works, it works. Nope, this is should be username input. Let's see if this works. This is much simpler, so it should like me. There we go. So I can just say, okay, cool. Just sign in. Okay. I think that is the current solution that I'm gonna go for. So let me go to local storage service and we'll update these all to be sleeper, username, also kind of put the item at the end. Item. I spell it right. And there's 3 main ones I need, right? There's MFL, user ID, or username, item. Now I'm not going to save the password. And then I just do Fleaflicker, username, item. Right. Okay, so now we have this. Private, ls. Local storage, if I can spell. Okay. I think I can also simplify this. So it's fetch user info. And we pass through the platform, which is a league platform enum. And this will be void. Right. So then what we do is we do a switch statement. Switch when platform default. I mean, default, we'll just default it to sleeper. Honestly, this is always the same. Where we want to end with a reset anything in our league service. Case. Actually, I need to probably define sleeper. League platform sleeper, just because ESPN technically could get called through this. Platform. Do something like that. This.ls.sleeper username. Right. Honestly, I think the only thing we really need to do is this. Right. I think this passes in platform and it defaults to but there's a password. Okay, so I will need it in here. Because there's custom logic for MFL because they like to be difficult. We do MFL here, and we'll do Fleaflicker here. Fleaflicker login. Fetch Fleaflicker info, we can remove that. Fetch sleeper info, we can remove that. Okay. So, don't think I need this. Kind of go on from here. This.ls.Fleaflicker username. Fleaflicker email. Yeah, because it's an email for that one. I think I can put the year outside. I think that's the same across all of them. The only one that changes really is MFL has its own password input. Don't need this, I'll need these. MFL username. Ooh, I love this song. Old Yoshi Island was such a good game. Okay, so now that we removed this, I just need to, let's see, this platform to load user for loads users for platform. User it's the fetch sleeper info. We change with that, and we'll do. I think sleeper's platform 0. That I guess that's the only issue is in HTML. There's not really support. Kind of sucks. I believe that is 1. Fleaflicker is 2. ESPN is 3, which we don't support. If this works, we will clean it up, raise a PR, and get these changes out there. That's the goal. Is if I bite-sized pieces for these streams, and you can go back and say, hey, I'm going to watch one of these streams, and then I'll be able to see that featured live. Obviously, if someone comes in and starts talking, that's even better. If you're still here watching me talk to myself, why don't you go give us a subscribe? I would appreciate it. I'm trying to work on building more of a YouTube community and such. I think that could be very valuable. Could be fun to have a community where eventually I can maybe create more Dynasty focused content. Don't know what's going on here. Let me just try to rebuild. Pretty good though. I think more viewers this live stream than last one, so I'm happy about that. It's all about that growth. Let's see how this looks. This doesn't look good. I'm glad that the data issue is fixed. Cannot resolve console. I'm sure it's that error message, actually. I'm pretty sure it's this. Let's do NBA draft update. Let's see what's going on. Wembanyama. I still can't believe the Hornets took Brandon Miller. I'm not feeling good about that. Yeah, that's what it was, the error. Okay, so now if we go here, I'm going to... Oh, man. I'll log in. Let's see. I'm going to log into all my accounts, and then we'll refresh the page and see if they're all there. That is logged in. Internal server error. I hope it's an old one. At gmail.com. Okay, so these should all be logged in. This is not looking great. But let's reload. And we should see our username saved here. That one is saved. This one is not. This one is not. Well, those are all. That is great. Let's see what's going on here. So I was curious why it looked like it blew up when I logged in here. Which is odd. That's odd. It seems to null out my... let's see. I don't want to empty out my username. I'm trying to see if I skip something that something obvious or something like that. League platform, Fleaflicker is a 2. This is a 1. This is Fleaflicker. Well, that should... Oh. I don't know. I'm a dummy. I always forget these. I have to manually put this in here. Okay. But we don't want this now, do we? And then we want that here. Okay. So we should be good to go with that. Okay. And what we have going on here. So it looks like everything is clean. We go here, we log that in. I'll enter my password. And then I will enter my email here. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Huh. I was expecting a different result. Okay, so we get item here. Oh, I haven't supported it up here yet. Well, that would make sense. There's always a million things to do. Sleeper username. And then here. And here. We will have, this will be our MFL username. And oh, it's just FF. FF username. Can't type. Let's see what we got going on here. Vignana. Toronto got Grady Dick. I think the Hornets have another pick, yeah. From Denver via New York and OKC. And the Pacers, don't the Pacers have like a bunch of picks? I know they traded some. Oh, this is annoying. Why are they the Pacers, Wizards, Toronto? This is the official NBA website. And so half of them are the team names and the other half are like the cities. The Jazz or New Orleans. Oh, that's gross. Hey, save that, it looked like. Okay, so let's go here. Sign in. Sign in. And now we signed in. If we refresh, give it to me. That looks great, that looks awful, and that looks awful. Is it because when I log in, I clear out all the other ones? I think I can get rid of this code. I think this is a mess. Right. Instead, I just do this. This slip of storage does not like me. Make sure everything is mapped right. Sleeper, MFL. I mean, I want to make sure the usernames are saved. Let me just double check, like, I'm not, like, clearing it for some weird reason. I know I clear it there. No, I mean, it should load here. I mean, I clear the league IDs, but that's if I log into a user. Oh, I deleted the in parenthesis there. A lot of coding today. I need to take a break soon. I'm hoping I can wrap up this stuff. Understand why like this won't move. Let's just say, okay, I log in and do this. What is this null? I don't know why I'm getting a null there. I don't think I have a console log, right? Have a weird console? Oh, I do. I have this one. Don't need that anymore. Okay, that's fine. Must be clearing all the other usernames somewhere. Want two of them to save. I got one to save, but I'd prefer if I could get two to save. Maybe I have to log in and I'll refresh. That saves, that doesn't. At least saves one, but I don't understand. Don't understand why it's not saving both. Yeah, like that should definitely be saving everything. I'm curious, like. Okay, so we have this. I can reload this. If I go back to home, okay, it does save. So, okay, I'm just making sure. I was like, felt like I was losing my mind. Portfolio item. There must be something dumb I'm missing. I've just been staring at it for so long. But like what? So we have Fleaflicker. That loads here. Does load new user? I mean, this doesn't have access to that, so it's not like it would update that. My one question would be if this somehow exists, right? That's probably what's happening, is it exists, right? Like if I remove this, let's give this a try if I remove all these and just use local storage. I'm hoping this gives me something that's a little more promising. So we sign in here, we load this in. Yeah, that's what it was. So then if I refresh, we should be able to load everything in. That's annoying. gmail.com. I feel like when I log into a league, it clears the values somehow. That's what I honestly should do. I don't even need this service. These are for, this is a config service, so. Okay, so I'm just going to do local storage key dictionary. Or I just do local storage dictionary. I forgot about these. So then I can do it like this. This will be much cleaner, and then I don't have to import everything. I mean, it doesn't fix the weird issue we were having. But now we have that as a const. We can delete this. Less services, the better. See ya. And then we toss this, and then we toss this, and then we go, where is it at? Where is it complaining? Local storage dictionary. This.ls. Storage dictionary. We'll import that. And we'll delete this. There we go. Delete that. Oh my gosh, I think I just realized what it was. I've been coding for too long. That's how I know. I set the empty string on startup to doy. Let's see. Local storage dictionary. We need to get rid of this. Here, we need to get this out of here. We can just do console error for now. And I think that does most of the work. This is the setup forms. We call setup forms like right in the beginning. Fleaflicker. I can remove this. Email, info user password, and this. Oh, I'm feeling better about this at least. Then we probably can revert some of these changes back too, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So we sign in here, we'll refresh. That's there. This is not here. Looks like that might not have been the issue. Still curious. So it's gonna load my sleeper name because I logged in. It's not gonna load that one. Okay, well I at least got it loading. I think I might stop it, or at least push this. I'm curious, like what the big issue is preventing that, but it's also not such a major issue that it's something I need to like be sleepless about. I mean, it has to be on load league. Open settings, load MFL league. I don't know why it's setting it to like empty string. remember. This was a mess. I wish I could copy the old code. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you get to see me after the end of a long day, being tired, trying to figure this out. After my team takes Brandon Miller over Scoot Henderson. I know it's gonna age bad, I already know it. Okay. Let's do this league service user league user data user name. Let's put this back in place. Just because oh, actually I think I know what it is. Since we just get items, we don't need... Let me think here. We don't need... Do we need any of these things kind of put in there separate things? Or should we... We have the init, we have this one with all the breaks and all its fancy stuff. This is the one that actually sets it all. And then this is the one that gets it all. Let's see. This is only if the league is loaded. So it's saved in there. That's what it is. So something like this, and then maybe I just... Something like that. And that's based on whatever league is loaded, we set the league ID. Give it a shot. I'll have to check the time. We're definitely coming up on a longer stream. I mean, I wasn't expecting to run into as many random issues as I did today, but I mean, that's the fun of coding, you know, and that's... Small thing can turn into a big thing. Well, it looks like that works, right? Let me see if I do like 6, we log in, he has his leagues, I load the league. So I have all this, I reload, duty 6 is here. I think we at least save it in local history, which I think is beneficial, but I'm trying to think of a case where, I mean, the only case it would happen is if we had the username data, but the issue is we don't have that. Yeah, we store it in local storage. So then it comes down to if I ever get around to fixing the actual loading in based on the thing, based on the user and the user parameters. But okay, I think that should be a good boost. We got a couple features knocked out, a couple improvements. So we'll try to stage all our commits. Let me double check there's not like any dumb console logs anywhere or something. Okay, so we definitely don't have any console logs. We'll review. We added in this new local storage dictionary, much better solution than what we had before. We also condensed this function, the fetch user function, into one big function, and store usernames in local storage. We took advantage of Kay Schmidt, one of our Discord members. He wanted to help out and created a way of choosing the start date. We made changes for Ice Wiz, I believe that's his Discord name, for the starter league to remove future draft capital, and also renamed it to redraft. And then here, we just kind of, this is some of the table changes as well. Portfolio service, refactored the thing to use the enums and then move the enums here. Let me actually add a comment to this. I cannot edit, apparently. Where was that? I wanted to add a comment to that. A dictionary of local storage item. Okay. Think that should be good. And I'll just do get commit message live, save username and local storage and redraft table view. And we'll push this. Oh, I gotta type my password in. Cool. Well, we peaked at 4 concurrent users. That's a win for me. It's slow, continual grind. That's what it's all about. So I'll merge this, and I'll add a comment on here. Cherry picked changes into live or into dev. And I'll close. Comment on that, and we can. Okay, and I will pull up our actions as we end every stream, as in every stream the past 2. We will watch it deploy and then test it out live to end it. And then I'm gonna go kick back, have a beverage, and play some Zelda. I've been waiting to do that all day. I will say we do have some exciting things coming in store. Not only for, not only partnerships with like Dynasty Trades in 5, but also we got new big features. I'm trying to make a splash. And continue to just deliver high quality fantasy content. So those are things I want to do. So stay tuned. I want to also do a better job at kind of communicating those things. So I might try to do some more edited, concise videos around things like tiers, starter value especially. That's kind of very contentious points, the simulator. And I did do a podcast with Scott Connor, and we talked about that. And that's kind of where I realized there's a lot of room for, confusion around the simulator, starter value, things of that. So I want to continue to communicate where it's at, where I want it to go, and just continue to make it better. This usually takes a couple minutes. I always try to do a good job at documenting, but I'll be honest, it's always like 10% complete. Like I'll be like, oh, I should start documenting it, and then I'm like, I don't really want to use my free time on that. It's crazy how many pull requests I've had. Kind of curious, like while this is loading, let's see like what's like the oldest commit. I have like almost 1,000 commits. Is it easy to do that? I don't know. It might take forever to load like really old ones. There's a lot of old. Special events is very old. A lot of old branches here. But the issue is like every time I merge a pull request, which that's kind of what kicks off a deployment, it's a new commit, so eventually I need to update that. Okay, so now it looks like it's deployed. We'll have to give it like 30 seconds to actually build. And let me double check. I don't know what this is. Unread messages. Yeah, it's just a bunch of the bumps. That could be a fun stream. Okay, let's see. We should be looking pretty good now. So what changes do we make? We made the local storage when we sign in on a user. Boom, it's saved. We made changes if we go to, this is like the long way to go to it, DynastyProcess all time. Shouts to my man K Schmidt. Appreciate the help here. That looks so cool. I don't really know what it tells me sometimes, but it just looks so cool. I'm glad I got a good color palette. What else do we get? Starter, I need to log in for that. Starter value. It's now called redraft, and we now remove picks. I can eventually take advantage of that space. I do want to figure out mobile styling for this eventually to be able to add that, but that's something that is a future Jeremy problem and not a current Jeremy problem. Anyway, I'm going to probably wrap it up here. If you watched it live, even just for a bit, I appreciate you watching. If you watching it in the past, I don't blame you. I don't catch most live streams, so if you're watching it later, I appreciate you sitting through and watching it. I know it's a lot of technical stuff. I mean, honestly, it's just because I'm usually talking to myself. It's like it's kind of hard to do a show or something like that and talk to yourself while also coding. But I do want to be able to take some of the coding time I do and make it kind of productive community building events. So if you have any better ideas on how to make these more interactive, more engaging, feel free to reach out to me. As always, follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube. I'm trying to build that. We're trying to break 100 subscribers. Twitter, I'm trying to break 1,000 followers. That would be awesome. And Discord, we just passed 200 Discord members, so definitely join. You can find all those on the homepage here. And then also check out our partners, our brand new partner, Dynasty Trades in 5. They're a big show. on YouTube, and really good show. They're about to break 10K subscribers. So I'm really excited to partner with them, and hopefully we have some things coming in the future. And then also our longtime partners, our first partners, we will always love them. Dynasty Theory, they're one of the best podcasts out there, and they have a ton of links and amazing Discord. If you want a very active Discord that's not intimidating but just fun to interact with, definitely check them out. They're definitely worth the Patreon. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Appreciate all y'all's support, and I'll catch you next time.